Hey guys, it's your Stormworks YouTuber, Nathaniel Zeus, and today I'm showcasing another one of my locomotives, a model that I've done the best I can of the ES44C C4 or ES44AC locomotive. It, I did pretty much the best I could to make a locomotive like this. So let's take a look at the outside first using my no clip. So this locomotive is pretty much my best and only freaking locomotive, although it is the best one I've had. This locomotive has a 3x3x3 um, inline 6 engine with a turbocharger sitting on top of it, and trust me, this actually works. Turbochargers actually work in this game. It has one large radiator per cylinder. It has actual air brakes. It has a huge fuel tank that lasts to like the Arctic and back probably 6 times. It has a 4-point coupler to help with stability and keep cars from crashing into each other. Now going to the cabin here, we got our first thing we're going to be looking at is our breaker panel, because I think you can see this is kind of like unaligned right here. So turn on these master breakers and look at that. If the controls are in the position I want them to be. Then I'm also going to want to turn on all these controllers. So this is cab power, dynamic brakes. Yes, this actually has dynamic brakes right here. It also has start motor, traction motors, radiators, fuel pumps, generator transmission. This also has a transmission. For the generator fuel enables electricity generation, coolant pumps, and finally the cab instruments. Now those have finally lit up. And I'm going to start the engine. That's nice. And you see the generator output is actually outputting some stuff right now. And I'll just quickly pull it out of the garage. Oh, forgive me. Let me turn on my sounds. Yes, this also has a bell that works. This has a horn. I do need to tune that a little bit. So let's go through the controls here. So this is the automatic brake. This is what manipulates the air brakes. If I turn this on, you see the gauges start to change. So the brakes are pretty much maximized, and then your brake pipe went down to about like 1 atmosphere. Brake cylinder stays the same though until I turn the brakes back down, and then the whole system starts filling back up again. Yeah, then independent brakes just directly affect the brakes. So then you got your this does nothing. This also does nothing. You got your bell, which sounds like your actual diesel bell, and when I turn headlights, you got the alternating ditch lights. Even when I turn the high beams, the alternate ditch lights still work. Anyways. So that's off. This is the horn right here. This is the dynamic brakes. This does nothing because the train is actually not moving. And this is the throttle with an integrated reverser. So if I just put a notch forward, it'll go forward. Turn that down to idle. Then I can also do notch backwards as well. See, we're moving. And then you got your front headlight cycle, so you got just the low beams, the ditch lights. Then you got the ditch lights and the high beams together. Then it's just nothing, just for that. You also have the rear headlights cycle, which helps with backing up at night. Pretty useful. All of these do nothing. I just wanted to do that to fill up my control board a little more. Moving over onto the other side here, this is the locomotive service panel. And you usually only do this if you have multiple locomotives hooked up together, and this is what mostly has to do with like locomotive assist. The green stuff down here we'll worry about last. But so we got a button that says rear unit mode and intermediate unit mode, and actually I have a little words in brackets that describes what happens. So the rear wire controls the loco. What I mean by that is there's this marked electrical cable anchor right here. If I backed up another locomotive and connected it, I could connect the two locomotives, and let's say the rear, it's not in rear unit mode, this locomotive is off, but this other locomotive is. So then I basically completely control both locomotives from one end. And as for the other button, intermediate unit mode, basically the same story, except that I back in a locomotive from the front, and I hook it up to one of the indicated anchors, this one right here. As that I put an indicator light next to it. If I hook up a locomotive, coupler, and wire in front of this, then I can set the locomotive in front to be my master. And then in this locomotive, I think I would have to have rear unit mode on and intermediate unit mode on to get control from the front. And then the last thing that we're going to go through today on this locomotive is the head-end power function and and stuff about the engine data and electricity generation. So to turn on the head-end power, you turn this, then press this button. Then you see that this bar starts moving up. This indicates that the generator transmission is starting to do its work. You also can tell by the way the generator output is fluctuating wildly. Alright, generator transmission is in top gear, and the engine is now at full capacity. It's sitting at about, if we can look over here, we can also look at the generator output here. So the engine's sitting at a nice 900 RPM. Then you also, this screen is useful because it can, so where it says all go, that means there's no problems with the engine, everything's good. You got your air-fuel ratio, the amount of load that's on the engine, which is not much, which is why it's so fuel efficient. Even though it's a high wattage generator. It's consuming about 2.05 liters per second, which is pretty good, considering it's running at 900 RPM. It's probably because how little load there is. And then this big number down here is how many liters are left in the fuel tank. And I can go ahead and turn this off. So take a little look-see inside one more time. So this generator is actually for, this is not connected to the powertrain at all. It's this bigger generator back here that supplies the powertrain some power. And that's why I made this 2-battery system. I got the propulsion battery to help with propulsion systems and to make sure to keep it isolated. That have the essentials battery for controls, doors, couplers, all that stuff. And as for the air brakes, this is basically the entire system back here. Actually, we can just no clip right here. So this is the control right here. So to start off with, up here is the brake pump. It takes in air from the outside and pressurizes some pipes. And right here is the brake cylinder going, which is all this piping right behind this lever right here. And then this lever is also controlled by this. When I turn the air brakes all the way up, this stops letting air into the brake pipe, and then it also opens this valve up to drain the air brake system. As you can see, the brake pipe is also at a very high pressure at about 60 atmospheres. Then you got your pressure release valve, and when I turn this on, this will valve will go down to 0, and this valve will go up to 1 for to release all the pressure. This pump will always be running, and to help it operate at its best, we always need to make sure that the electric is at full. The electric is always full. And then I have a few other numbers here that are not that important. So that's it for this locomotive. It's pretty strong. I'll probably showcase how much it can do in another video. And as for the controls and like how it works and stuff, this is pretty much it. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.